Welcome to the planning board May 23rd meeting. Let's see, we have minutes.
Yes.
Any issues with those?
The only issue was that Doug's name was left off and he wasn't at the meeting, so he was gonna add it.
Anyone with a motion to approve the minutes? Jenny, that's that. Second. Kevin seconds. All in favor? Good to go. Awesome. Let's see, we had no work sessions this last Tuesday. Do we have anything scheduled for this one? All right, then we'll get right to it. First up tonight is RHF High Tech. It's 715 Robert Feldman. Right. We're going old school. We got a board.
Well, just so you know, I'm not really describing what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking, so I figured it's like. But Greg Stroman, Dennis Stroman there is representing Feldmeyer.
Quiz.
I did that for you guys. And we're here in front of you with a site plan for an expansion. Last time we were here, I think they gave a real brief history on it with some of the board members who weren't here at the time. We actually designed and did the impact analysis for not only the facilities there today, but also incorporating about 40,000 square foot expansion, which is outlined right here in this shaded area in your site plan. And since then, they decided to relocate.
Just a second. Do we have this plan that we can put up on the screen for people who are online?
Great. So since then, they've decided to relocate their existing operations on Town Line Road to this facility. And in order to do that, they're going to be a slightly larger expansion than was previously planned. And that is outlined in the yellow here and also here. This is primarily going to be a storage room for parts and smaller parts and that sort of thing. And then some of this is warehousing and the rest of it is manufacturing of components. So in the current facility, they really assemble tanks. This here facility expansion will be a lot of manufacturing of smaller parts of the plant, the tanks, things like the lids actually get stamped out. So that sort of machine's gonna come here. And that's going to involve a little bit larger impacts and some relocation of like the existing road. Like we're going to put the road in a spot where if they stay with the original plan, they wouldn't have had to even move the road. This road will need to be moved a little bit down to the south, which would require things like a retaining wall along the New York State Thruway property. And then we've got some parking that we've got to deal with on the site. Originally, there was a plan put in place with banked parking, 25% banked. So that variance was acquired back then and goes with the land. Currently, we're showing parking in, this is the parking here and here. About 180 spaces or something like that. And then what we're showing then also here in gray and blue would be full build-out parking without any kind of a banking allowance. And under today's scenario, the town is looking at reconfiguring the parking code. So in the meantime, what we're proposing is this full build-out with the blue being the 5% banking that would normally, be allocated by the board. Right now, they only need a fraction of that, maybe like 75 parking with the existing
You're
facility.
saying hi to the people on the computer?
On a given day, there's about 90 empty spaces. They're gonna need to bring over, I think, somewhere in 27 or so spaces, that sort of thing. So it's even, as the perfect world is today, with full employment, they're still gonna be well above what they need with the existing park. So everybody's just trying to find a way around building out this parking that's not gonna be ever used. But it'll also, the land is there, so, can be made to happen if it needed to. The actual plan was such that this pond is so large that
Can everyone
very minor
online
modifications you can take and mitigate all of the stormwater runoff and keep it down at a 10-year level from a 100-year storm. And other than the way we're gonna reconfigure this swale in here, which will be more of a bioswale, there is no additional stormwater needed for the site. We had this plan here when we did this plan really quick. We looked at the plan that's up there today. We won't need that. The way we have wasn't necessary. So that is the bulk of the site dish plan stuff. We do have time now. Yeah, easier to talk about architectural.
Can everyone on the Zoom call please mute yourselves? And you can,
Yeah, you're the host.
mute everyone. Patrick Sheedy.
Sounds like I'm very happy.
So just a clarification, the blue is gonna be reserved, and the gray is what you plan to build.
If you don't give us a 25% banking and the town doesn't adjust their code, we would have to build not only what's there, but the gray and the blue. And if we get to 25%, under current code, we would have to build the gray.
25% though, you were already awarded in that from.
We were awarded it, but I think it's still up to the planning board.
We determined
Those are the
that.
It's already, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
variance, it's a 25% variance, so it's runs with the land.
Run through the lane no matter what we put on there.
Even if we
Well-
change the rule and the quantity.
Well, whatever the amount is that's required, there's a 25% variance.
I wasn't sure if it was the
Yep.
variance was there, so that the planning board had that option to give us 25% or just automatically. And that's what-
That's a different law that's kind of being considered, but right now, this one did get the variance originally.
So does that mean we have to show, does that mean we do not have to show the blue ever again?
Well, it's in reserve right now.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go to the CPA to get that approved.
But it's gotta be shown.
Yeah, it's gotta be still.
Gotta be shown.
Still has to be-
Unless the law changes.
So let's, if we can, because I do wanna get this clarified, right, and I know we've talked about it. So how many spaces are there?
Shown in the plan are 420 spaces.
Okay, there are 420 spaces shown.
Yeah.
How many are required?
420 spaces.
Okay. But you don't intend to build them all,
We don't.
right? How many do you intend to have?
there's actually 205 now.
205.
There's 205 currently, and then we'd be building an additional, 111.
So the goal would be stay at 205 lots.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to relate.
So that's at 52%.
Yeah, so I think you're saying,
But as far as the approval goes, it is the 420 minus 25%.
Their plan is showing, what their plan is showing meets the code with the 25% in reserve.
Right.
So hopefully that
Showing the
long
building
range
building
and
this
this
here.
will not have to happen, but what they're showing right now meets our requirements.
Which is
320
420 required
Yes,
and
315 is the
Yes.
25%.
will be built.
yes.
okay. Got it. And then the blue is the,
Thanks.
Get you from
Reserve.
315 to the 420.
Yeah.
We're looking for banked on top of the 315.
The blue is the.
We need 420, 25% is banked. So
Okay,
what Lee
it's
just
banked,
said.
it's not a variance, it's a banked
Yes.
grant.
Yeah,
Thank
yes.
you.
That's
So-
the advantage of the existing variance.
Okay,
So Greg's numbers are correct.
315 will be built on the site and balance is banked. As per the
The changes in the
variance. Okay, alright, so no variances needed if this is done this way.
All right, so the building, this is the existing south facade that faces the hand developing last time around. And so to keep it simple, because the building has gotten longer, we basically have kept these elements and we've increased the distance between them. As you can see, a little bit of extra here, a little bit of extra down here. So it keeps pretty much the same rhythm, the same elements as far as the coloration in the windows. Now the building is gonna be much shorter, about 5 feet shorter, because of the slope of the roof.
You maintain the smooth pitch down to that facade.
Yeah, so this is kind of side elevation, so you see we've got about a 12-inch step, and then the same half a 12-inch. And we're ending up with about a 31'4" dimension, and we were 35 foot. So that's essentially the concept, and it maintains the coloration and the elements on the existing facade. So you can see this is kind of light, but this is existing, it's kind of made to be pale to be the existing, but that color and this color are the same. And then this is actually the wall beyond, because the plan, it actually steps. So in order, you can see this on the site plan, in order to get the truck radius swings in there, and to recess that section of the building.
That's in this area.
Gotcha. So the heights of the panels, the colored panels on that facade, are they the same height as the original, is that just because we're different scale?
No, they're actually short. Yeah, and we've reduced this element slightly to not have everything drop so low. And you see the sign, these panels actually get shorter. So that sign is maybe gonna be less visible from the freeway, but it's the same element, so we're just moving it.
What's going on the element on the right, is that taller?
Element on the right.
The last exit panel. Slide there. Or see the second elevation down, slide over, pan down, so slide it down on the screen.
So you can see.
Go up there.
You want to see the top of the page?
There we go, now slide to the right, No, now we're getting a little bit. Okay, the last blue block on the right is,
On the top of is first is
where the hand is, that, right there.
this one.
Yes, that, it's okay, that's the same height as the other, you know.
Yeah, it's these across here. This is an erroneous line.
Yeah.
I've got current drawings that we can update. That was just a quick reduction. So you can see essentially, that's how much shorter this panel is.
Okay, and the sign panel is the same as the former sign?
Yep, same size. They do have a new logo, which appeared on, well, not this one, but the new drawings, yeah. So they're ultimately gonna wanna change that logo on the sign to be, and that'll be a separate sign application. And then on top of the look, about that, and go in. That's the site plan, yeah, I was looking for.
Yeah, it's a PDF of 15, I just got it for it.
Okay. These are all the site plans, passes. You can put it on. There's 3 separate sheets.
This is everything that I received on your thumb drive today.
Oh yeah, cause you got today's submittal, you need the submittal from 5/9.
Gotcha,
Well-
okay.
5/9 has all the architecturals.
Well, but the renderings.
The renderings are in that folder, you can stay where you are.
Yeah, we resubmitted them,
Yeah, you can open it up.
they're not in there, they're on 5/9.
Again, this is just to kind of show the new compared to the existing. Existing photographs shows you the coloration. The new kind of from that angle, so this comes out steps and then continues down. And you can see that if from the road, this drops down about that much, over across, everything goes down.
And so that berm of brush and everything will stay there, you're not
Yeah,
coming
that's
out.
existing, I don't know if that's not freeway.
I think most of it's on the freeway route.
The throughway cut that down. I might be going back up, but yeah, originally they cut that down.
And the style of
And this is,
condition,
this was actually from,
Oh. Thanks, yeah,
look at the old.
I know the sign was pretty, I like how it feels coming out. So it's a nice, it's a relatively nice piece for looking at. Is the architecture on the piece on the front next to the nice section, what's that, is that part of the same building?
Yeah, pretty much, again, footstep and a slope, if you go back to the elevation sheet. Visualize down here. So this is, so that's that piece sticking out, on this west facade. This shows the front of it from the, I guess, north facade, looking back into that truck yard area.
Is this a new set of elevations today that came in with?
These
Yeah,
haven't
or-
changed since what was originally sent, but did you send it again today?
We resubmitted everything because we felt to give a full package, we weren't sure what it was, I didn't get the email in time, so we resubmitted everything to make sure.
So these are the
yes.
same ones from 5/19?
Yes, yeah, the 5/9 submittal, yeah.
And if you scan up a little bit, these two here, so this is this face of the drawing, so there'll be another opening more there, which was there originally. This is the side view here. So it starts out with a darker panel because that was the end of the building. It turns the corner, repeats what was there originally, which is a guitar, and then the rest is that.
I mean, I'm just gonna throw it out here so we can quick chat about this, I think the building's in good shape. It carries on what we're looking for, which is a Doug, what do we stand on municipal, what's missing in this? What do we, submittal?
We got a full submittal today, so now we have all the utility plans and everything we need, updated SWIP. So at this point, we think we're likely good to go, we haven't had time to review everything, but I think
Great.
we should be in good shape.
Yeah, there's an updated SWIP, everything's in there.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to moving this along, so I just wanna make sure there isn't any disconnect as to
No,
who's.
at this point, we think we have everything we need from the applicant. We just need to wait for the seeker, we need to review all the plans and the county resolution, so hopefully, and they got everything in today, which is the deadline for 6/13, so hopefully we should be good to go 13.
Any other questions?
Last question I have is only just because it's along the thruway, is any lighting issues with light angles facing the highway or?
There's a photometric plan included.
Yeah, we submitted to the Thruway for their review, they wanted us for their review.
Yeah.
We lowered the lights down so that there's no trespass on their property. We should be fine.
Did you get that to them today also,
No,
or?
The photometric.
Okay, the ninth.
Great.
One question we
Hey,
did.
Leif, this is Doug. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Hey, I had a quick question as well on the site plan, if I could. There's an outdoor landscaped area on the north side of the building that was part of the original design. I just wanted to ask, is that still planned to be part of the design and or restored or preserved? I think that was a nice feature in the original design.
Yeah, we kept the patio area, the outdoor, seating and patio area, for like the employee lunches and stuff like that, that's being preserved as it is. That little appendage there kind of takes out where there's a couple of trees there, and there's a gas storage tank. So that's got relocated, that stuff there, but, that wall, seating, landscaped area there, that's been preserved.
Okay, thank you.
Hey Doug, have you seen the architecture from the submission on the 9th? Rita?
I have not,
Okay,
but I will take a look.
okay, great.
Hey guys, it's Mark here.
Thank you, Mark.
If you're taking questions from the virtual world here, the SWIP is, did I hear that was resubmitted just recently, or?
Yes,
Today,
I see a nod in the room.
Okay, so does it address the new parking area up by, to the east of the site, or only the addition?
It addresses all the parking, including the 25% bank, should that ever go in.
So it takes care of the 104 spaces out by Thompson, or whatever that road is there.
Yes.
Old Thompson, yeah.
To the east, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, those are being accounted within the SWIP.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, the one thing that's outstanding, we talked about it, the applicant agreed to put it into play was the RPZ. There's a use pressure zone valve that's put into the water system. So, Greg's office has sent over previous correspondence from 4 or 5 years ago. It's not been put in yet, but recommendation, coordination with the water department is that needs to be put in before a building permit can be issued for the site. It shouldn't hold up the approval for the site plan, but when we get to the building permit portion, we want that RPZ put in. And from the discussions we had, it didn't appear that was an issue with the building permit.
No,
And I think the only thing they had on their comment was just taking that one L.
Yeah, it was something that was designed, I personally thought it was put in, kind of went on during COVID. They got, we got comments back and then they just stopped for whatever reason, so. The only thing I can see holding it up is for some reason, there's some issue getting, the RPC, I don't think that's a problem. It shouldn't.
shared that with Tim.
The RPZ.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'll follow up.
Yeah, I think we just provide stuff.
We did, yeah, but we're gonna, just going through the calculation, make sure that everything's sound.
And Jason, when you put that together, send it through the water department so that we can so.
Yeah, absolutely, yep. Yep, it should be early next week.
I brought cut sheets for the exterior materials if needed.
What?
I brought cut sheets of the exterior materials if needed.
They're in the system.
There were some-
Yeah, well, I don't. So the one other thing that came up today during discussions was fire hydrants. Is there a fire hydrant gonna review this before we do that? We certainly don't have a problem using them.
Why don't you reach out to the fire department?
Do that, make sure, because we gotta relocate at least one hydrant, and because the building's got larger, we wanna make sure we have it.
I can't imagine there's an issue with it. You got access all over.
Exactly. Yeah. Make sure they're in the right, sometimes there's a 500-foot limit down.
And I believe this would be Syracuse for last location, right?
That is the one part of the existing.
Everything else is a time.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you. Alright, next up is Waylock.
Have a great night.
So we'll see them on, the seeker will be, I know that that's kind of the changes they're never looking at the county, Wednesday. That's their.
That'll be that before.
Thanks, wait a minute.
Like if I had started
Yeah, probably start with the elevation that we talked about the.
Excuse me, can I have your name?
Yes, good evening. My name is Russ Steenberg. I'm the engineer for the applicant, Tasty Hut, for the proposed Pizza Hut located at Jimmy John's on Waylock Drive. The former Jimmy John's. Monday night, we went before the zoning board of appeals, based upon your recommendation. We did receive the variance for the area variance for the setback. And we also received the variance for the additional signage on the building. The one condition that they had is that the signage be reduced to 120 square feet, which is what is allowed by zone, by the zone. I think we had like 135 or 139 square foot of signage based on what we thought the Jimmy John signs were. We were trying to match that signage. The architect subsequently has modified the elevations, which you should see here, reducing the signage on the outside of the building to just under 120 square feet. I think it's 116 square feet and some change. So from the signage standpoint and the setback standpoint, we should be compliant with the ZBA's decision. I think, some of the things with the elevation that we could talk about, and my laser pointer's not working. One of the things that they wanted, or that you wanted us to take a look at was trying to mimic the existing roof structure. Originally it was a flat roof. The architect has modified that roof structure accordingly and mimic the roof design from one side to the other. And then if we could go out, just highlight some of the minor changes to the site plan that we've made throughout the process based upon your recommendations. So we talked a lot about the relocation of the transformer and the landscaping around the transformer. What was there a year and a half ago when Google Earth took the pictures, what's there now, and your desire to see a good hedgerow on the right-of-way line of that transformer. So what we did, again, not sure why, right now, the existing electrical box is surrounded by small burning bushes. And we initially had, basically running that similar design along the front. Your desire to see, basically hide that a little bit. We've replaced those burning bushes as well as the new transformer with junipers, small juniper trees, which are fast growing, pretty hardy. They'll grow into a nice hedgerow along the front there, shielding that without growing too tall to obscure the visibility of the building. We also, added some of those Norway spruces back in a little bit further out to allow access to the transformer pads, to give that area again some green feel as you come around that corner on Waylock. But basically, it's the same plan we've been looking at the last few meetings, other than those minor changes. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Doug, any comments? Rena?
Not at this point. I think they've addressed everything we've asked for.
Yep, agree. Okay,
So do the elevations that you have represent the reduced signage?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
all right, I'm gonna read a motion here then. Motion to approve the site plan submission last dated 5/13/2024 with the following findings and conditions. Findings, this application is to construct a 447 square foot addition to an existing restaurant and relocation of the transformer. New site plan and application were submitted for this site. The short form EAF dated 1/19/2024 submitted by the applicant has been reviewed by this board. This is an unlisted action under seeker and the board issues a negative declaration on the same. The board has received the Onondaga County Planning Board referral dated March 6, 2024, which found no significant inter-community or county-wide implications from the project. The Zoning Board of Appeals granted the variances for signage and setback as recommended by this planning board per its May 9th referral resolution with the condition therein, and its condition therein is adopted for the 120 square foot max signage for total wall size. Conditions. The approval is made with the condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, titled site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant and requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or completion to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions, the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the Town of Dewitt Code Section 192-122. Anybody want to make that motion? Kathy will make it, second. Jenny will second. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous? Approved.
Thank you very much.
Jamie, if I'm permitted to vote remotely, I vote yes.
Okay, so we will note it, but your face is not showing, so you can't.
You gotta turn your camera on the window.
Are you there, like by camera?
Okay. Then I'm not,
No,
then
You're not
I
able
will, I'll
to.
abstain,
That's okay.
yeah.
You can participate. That's good, that we have a
Okay.
quorum.
You got a quorum
If
here
we
at
need
the table
you,
by
if we
day.
need your vote, we'll let you know.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with all of you.
Thank you.
You as well. When in doubt, Doug, don't turn the camera on.
It sounds like the voice of experience.
COVID experience. All right, next up, JCC.
Good evening, Andy Raymond-Stark for JCC. We're here tonight for hopefully a final review. Checked with the staff this morning to see if there were any comments or any from previous presentation. It's really the same thing that we proposed before. It's just a minor change or minor improvement to the building. We're replacing 2 canopies, sidewalks, staircases, railings that are beyond repair at this point. So it's a refresh of existing pieces.
So we don't have there's been no revisions to your drawings yet, right? Yeah.
We didn't have comments.
We didn't have any
No
comments on
engineering
the project,
comments.
so we have no issues here, so I think we'll just move right forward into this, and I'm gonna make a motion for this. The motion to approve the plan as presented, last dated April 24th, 2024, with Ballard and product details dated May 7th, 2024, with the following findings and conditions. The applicant represents an overall minor renovation project that does not affect parking or other major site plan issues. The board has reviewed the short form AF dated 4/24/2024. And presented by the applicant, this is an unlisted action under seeker, and the board issues a negative declaration on the same. No Onondaga County Planning Board referral was required. Condition, the approval is made with the condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant, and requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or completion to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the town of Clinton Code section 192.122. Anybody want to make that motion? All right, Kevin, second. Oh, we go Catherine this time. All in favor? Aye, it's carried unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, thank you all,
Thank you.
have a good night.
Next up, Shake Shack. Are you on, somebody online for Shake Shack?
Yes, we are. Am I coming through? This is Jim Manguso.
Yes, you are.
Representing Lauer Manguso Architects, representing the Shake Shack at 3275 Erie Boulevard. We have our civil engineer also online, Patrick Sheedy. We came before you guys not too long ago with a Rachel's for the proposed site. The Rachel's has since kind of evaporated, so we now have the proposed Shake Shack for this location. We went before the ZBA to kind of get some approvals for what was the site plan and some of the parking variances. Those were put in place. There has since been some modification to the site, working with the neighbor to the northwest or northeast rather, in conjunction with this cross-access easement. So what we've done to kind of modify some of these plans to work in conjunction with the concerns of public safety and traffic, we've narrowed that access, which is a legal document with access to both us, the neighbor, and the third neighbor to the left. We've narrowed that access down a little bit from like 36 feet to 24 to represent what would be a traditional drive aisle. And we've also introduced a parking stop sign that would be at that intersection. So folks passing through parking lots would have some control over their speed coming through. We've looked at, there was a request to look at the sidewalk up along Bridge Street, extending that to our property line. We've since been in contact with the DOT. They've opened up some additional concerns with that request to extend that involve the parking, the drainage easement that's along the Bridge Street access that kind of hooks up into the swale that's shown on this front site plan. So we're not sure that that's something we're going to be able to take on, though we feel comfortable with the internal traffic modification to the adjacent parking area. We feel that that will help out quite a bit there. The sidewalk is something, again, it was a request. We're not sure if that's something we have to do. We had the Rachel's formally approved for site plan previously without the sidewalk. Our sidewalk would end essentially at our property line, which would not extend. So that's something we're hoping we can negotiate and kind of do down the road when the other sidewalks come in, or not do at this point anyhow. We've made some modifications to the building. There was some concern to try to wrap the facade along what is the neighbor's property line to the north. We have done that on those elevations. We've extended that facade and glazing around that edge, which would be nearest the dumpster locations. We've pushed those dumpsters back to create visibility to what is now that kind of revised front site plan or elevation rather. We've also addressed some of the material changes to introduce brick into the building and get rid of, we have like a hardy plank system and a metal siding panel, but we're now going to have a brick base. So we're going to have brick up to those glazing points. So 10 feet up will be all brick. And then we'll have our Nichiha ribbed ivory above.
So
And
have
the east
have the elevations changed at all?
Correct. The east elevation too, on the bottom left-hand corner, originally that facade was all that brown kind of drive-it ephes color. So we've wrapped that 12 or 14 feet of facade around the side and included our entry to the facility will now be in this corner instead of the corner on Erie and Bridge. So that'll be a prominent entry to the building and it'll have a prominent signage point over it. We felt like that was a good use of that, and that was currently where the utilities for what was the former Friendlies are located. So we're pulling all those utilities back away from that front corner to accomplish that. And then the siding that was originally shown is now going to be all the ephes brick system.
So let me make sure we have ephes coming down to the ground here on this project?
It's an ephes brick system, so it's actually like a thin brick essentially.
It's not just schmutz. Schmutz on foam.
If that's something that we need to change out, that it's kind of the Shake Shack standard prototype look. We've used actual brick in the past. We certainly could negotiate that to be an actual brick. If that was something that we need to do, that would be no problem. We were trying to stick with kind of their prototypical look to start.
I think we should go for regular. It's not that much.
So I'm gonna make a statement so you hear it. Usually in the town of DeWitt, we don't allow ephes in any way, shape, or form coming down to the ground plane.
Understood?
What?
Understood?
So we're gonna keep that position. So
Okay.
we can move forward, just we can recommend a change in material. This is right.
So that'll be a full brick, understood?
Yep.
If you can explain to me how to say it.
Yeah, so we're,
That'll be good.
Would that be a condition then for us? We would just revise that and I would
Yes.
certainly send that
That's
over
correct.
with
That's
the brick
correct.
system.
Yep.
Thank you.
So what would it say exactly, Leif?
It would say that the condition that all the exterior materials that are ephes should be replaced with a real brick material. I mean, same brick of the same color. Yeah, same color.
A mason brick
Yeah.
is a way to put it.
Yeah, it's generic. Can we pull up the site plan real quick? I'm gonna just jump back to the whole sidewalk issue, and that extension we were saying we want to avoid. I think our position is gonna be that, since this is our shot to do this right now, and it never seems to come back in, that we're gonna want you to do the sidewalk as far as, possible, that you can control, now. We can always extend as other people do it.
Understood?
This is Pat Sheedy, the project engineer. Yeah, we got some initial correspondence back from the DOT last night regarding the sidewalk, and one of their comments was about extending the sidewalk up to the access on Bridge Street that the neighbor currently possesses, which obviously is far in excess of the frontage of this parcel. So that was one of the concerns we had with their comments. So I don't know if that could be, coordinated between us, you guys, and the DOT. But that was one of our main concerns from the comments we received from them.
So how far is extension is fair?
It's at least 3 stores where Doherty's property is. Got the 2 stores in Oldham's.
Well, is the DOT saying, we're not gonna do any of it if you don't do all of it?
I haven't seen that comment. Can you tell us exactly what that
Yeah.
comment said? Because I
Guys, can I-
making comments and I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Can I say, yeah, hang on, so I thought the comment was if it was not extended up or at the future that it needed to return back to the shoulder.
Yeah, it says
Yes.
sidewalk must connect to the shoulder rather than the dead end. That's the only thing that we see. So that's what Alana and I are saying, same as Mark is.
Okay, but then if we,
Don't point that out on the plan, so I.
So that means they only have to go to the end of the.
I think what the applicant's saying is they only have control to their property,
To
their
right
property
there.
line.
That's that angle.
yeah, so I guess the concern there too would be if we just bury it in the shoulder, there's, we're just dumping people out on a Bridge Street then. There's really no connection point there.
Well, that's the main intersection there over to. All right.
I mean, the ultimate master plan is to eventually connect it up to Sealy Drive, and I think that maybe it's not happening immediately, but eventually it will be. So I think there is, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's Mark again. Currently, the latest set of plans I saw for the state DOT project extended sidewalks up on the other side all the way to Sealy, but not on this side of the road.
So we got sidewalk along Erie, then you cross Bridge Street to go over to Chick-fil-A, then you go up that side.
I mean, it certainly seems more practical to install it on the other side of Bridge Street than this side.
Start to continue it down the street, so you don't get to look at this all that often.
So I'm still confused.
Doug, is there an opportunity to advocate for do you think that we should be advocating for it?
Doug, you're breaking up.
I think what Doug was saying was, can we advocate with the DOT to have the sidewalks extended down this side of the street?
Right, eventually.
Well, and I would suggest as part of the project that's ongoing.
I don't think it's part of their current plan, based on my discussions with them, but,
Yeah. Agreed.
yeah.
So where do we stand on what they need to do now?
Shouldn't we stand on what they've sent so far?
We would like to see sidewalks there.
Yeah.
It's a matter of just working with DOT and getting
So
the
it
design
continues on where it
plans
shows
in.
on the plan now, and then it continues on as the DOT,
But only on their own
but
property.
only on their own property,
Right.
correct, I agree with that.
I mean, the discussions that Alana's
I
had.
agree with that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Have
Doug.
been very positive, right? I mean, Jeff has been very good to work with.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
What about the landscaping?
That also needs to keep going through DOT, for approval. DOT had some comments that was.
Shorter trees, removal of the tall grasses at the sidewalk to allow visuals. And some bulb plantings at the sloped elevations.
So that needs to be worked out with DOT to get plans that.
And we're all good with those conditions?
Yeah, those comments on the landscaping, we can certainly address.
Okay.
I just had a quick question, where you have the stop sign in between the two lots, do you have like, did you strike that on the ground also, like a stop bar?
Yes, if you zoom in there, you can see we have a proposed stop bar on the pavement there.
There's a stop bar. Yeah, I actually like how that went down. Like there's gonna do it up there. All right, maybe any other? Yeah, you good? Got that? Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna read a motion. So we did. Motion to approve the site plan last dated 5/22/24 with the following findings and conditions, findings. This is an application for the redevelopment of a site. Of that site. The site has previously received site plan approval for a 2-tenant facility, Rachel's Grill, but that plan was never implemented. This is a rework of that plan. The applicant has worked with the board to specifically rework portions of the easement between their property and the neighboring property to the north to allow for safe access as feasible between the sites as reflected on the plans. The short form EAF dated 3/22/2024 submitted by the applicant has been reviewed by this board. This is an unlisted action under seeker and the board issues a negative declaration on the same. The board has reviewed the Onondaga County Planning Board referral dated April 17, 2024, which offered comments which this board has addressed in its review of the site plan. We found no significant inter-community or countywide implications from the project. Conditions: it is the intent that there be sidewalks along Bridge Street and also landscaping within the DOT right of way, and therefore it is a condition of this approval that the applicant work with the DOT to address the potentially construct sidewalks along Bridge Street to correspond with the overall goal of this corridor for walkability and compatibility with the Empire State Trail, and further work with the DOT to address landscaping along Bridge Street within the DOT right of way. Applicant is to report back to this board within 6 months hereof as to the progress with these matters. The parking variance was granted by the ZBA for the parking as shown in the documents submitted. This approval is made, the condition, all finishes noted as EFIS on the exterior elevations will be replaced with masonry brick of the same or similar color represented. This approval is made with the condition that this approval is for the plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and by the applicant, and requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the Town of Tewksbury Building Code Section 192-122. Anybody want to make that motion? Kathy will make a motion, Jenny will second, all in favor? All in favor, 4, with a unanimous decision, you're approved. Okay, moving on. Next up, Verizon.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening. It's Jared Lusk from Nixon Peabody. Nice to be with you. I'm hungry though, Shake Shack and Pizza Hut. But this is just Verizon Wireless. We were before the board back on November 9th, 2023. We presented this project. It is and was a co-located wireless telecommunications array on the building located known as 3469 Erie Boulevard East. I have my notes from the meeting, and again, we reviewed the purpose, et cetera, of the meeting at that time. My notes from the meeting were relatively simple. Fix the visibility of the antennas from the front of the store. That was back in November. It's now 6 months later. And we've been working tirelessly in an effort to make the antennas stealth on the roof of the building. It was complicated because of a variety of things. One of them is the structural elements of the building itself, and we wanted to construct the facility in such a way that we could enclose the antennas as requested. As you can see, these are the antennas. Again, I wish I had a pointer. You could see the antennas here in this picture. Then if you went to the previous simulation, you could see the antennas there. It's on the back. But the most important view, as you recall, I think somebody said at the last meeting, that we spent a lot of time, the board spent a lot of time focused on the view of the retail center from Erie Boulevard, and they wanted that look preserved. And so, again, we had to relocate the location and reorient the antennas a little bit to make them work from an RF perspective, but also be able to fit into a stealth box, so to speak, in such a way that the box could be appropriately structurally attached to the building and again blend in. So do you have the next set of simulations? I do if you don't. No, that's the RF design. Yeah, you won't find them there unless that was from the original. Again, that's the coverage to be provided. This is the supplemental application I'm looking for. Again, I have it if you don't, from May 6th. It's got the revised simulations that show you the difference. Those are the plans. Again, the plans haven't changed except of the reorientation of the antennas to allow us to put it within the stealth coverage. So the antennas, if you see the the Michaels facade, center facade, the two antennas, now the antenna sets that you see from Erie Boulevard are in an RF transparent box attached to each end of that facade. So what you'll see is the box and not the antennas that you saw on the previous from the front.
You just answered our last question, was it a transparent box or an RF transparent box?
It's an RF transparent box. I have the simulations. If you keep going, you'll see how it's going to look. They were attached to this as well. Again, the project hasn't, there you go.
There we go, right there, yeah, okay.
Can you up one so we can see before again? Thanks.
You see them now, you don't.
I know.
You see that?
That's what you,
So-
that was the view.
So
you
make
were-
it RF transparent, just for my own information. What is that wall built of other than the finished material?
You know, I know it's an RF transparent material. Greg or Doug, are you familiar with what it's actually made of?
Gotta be fiberglass or something.
I'm not Jared.
Yeah,
I take your word for it, though. You wouldn't put it up if it wasn't.
don't take the lawyer's word for it.
I don't know who, like I said, I've seen it used. It's, again, you have to special order it. So from an RF transparent company that makes this RF transparent material.
Fair enough.
Like the flooring that doesn't have static, it's the same, it's kind of expensive.
But again, there hasn't been any change to the project other than to respond to your request. And we had several iterations, several designs, and understanding what you wanted. This is a lot of work to get to where it is, and there's again a lot of design in this.
Great, so this is I think are there any other screening issues we have, any of the ones in the back, we have any problems with those, right? Just the ones in the front, this gets us.
Yeah, and I think Jared can probably speak to it too. Jared, wasn't there like a little enclosure building in the back too?
There's not a building. The equipment is in the back, on the back side of if you go back, I don't want to keep making you go back to the site.
It was ground level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ground level, equipment cabinets at the base, behind the facility.
Yeah.
Right, so we,
Does that mean that the the transmission line, the wires themselves are run down the face of the building to that equipment?
They're run to the back and down,
Existing, right?
down
It's
the
all-
backside.
It's all existing, it's not a change.
What's the change then? Are they gonna-
Just this.
Again, the design, there's nothing that's changed with the design except the sort of the reorientation of the antennas to be able to fit into those RF transparent boxes. And the addition of those RF transparent boxes.
This has to go to CBA or special permit does.
Yeah, so this is, we need to make a recommendation.
Yeah, yep.
All right, so I don't, our next move is to kick you over to ZBA, so, I think we'll make if there's no other comments, we'll make a motion that effect now. Motion for a positive recommendation to the zoning board of appeals for a specific permit for installation of a rooftop wireless communication facility within 750 feet of residential property. The applicant has presented a plan that is reasonably compatible with the residential area by providing a plan that includes rooftop screening as requested by these people. Anybody, make the motion? All right, Kevin makes it, I'll second. All in favor? Unanimous decision, okay. Great, so, you're good to go to the ZBA, they their application?
Yes.
So next, once the ZBA issues the specific permit, we come back for final site plan approval. Is that the plan?
Correct. Yeah, it'll be quick.
So you'll be on the next CBA meeting then, which
June 17th is your ZBA.
Okay.
Then right back here, right.
And yeah, thank you. And what's the date of the planning board?
June 27th.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Two. Up next, generator project.
Hello, my name is Albert Janino. I'm Vice President of Corporate Real Estate at Community Bank. So why are we building it? Why do we want it?
Can you say your last name or spell it for me?
Sure, Albert Janino, G-I-A, and I-N-O.
Thank you.
So why do we want to build a generator at 333 Butternut Drive? Community Bank, not many people realize it, but we've quietly grown to a $15 billion bank with 230 branches in 5 states. We currently have a corporate headquarters facilities in Widewaters. Our lease expires in June of 2026, and we lease the top 4 floors of the Excellus building from Mr. Lane, and we're going to move our corporate headquarters facilities there along with the data center and a learning center. And in doing that, we need certain IT requirements that call for a generator. I'm really excited about the project. We're excited to be in this location. And we looked at a lot of locations throughout central New York, and we're happy to be in DeWitt, near the park, near what's going on in Shopping Town. And we're here tonight to ask for permission to build a generator outside the building. If you have any more questions from me, I would turn over to my good friend and former colleague, Dave Riccioli. I know those people back in many companies around town. Any questions from the community bank?
So is there a site?
Yes, there's a site plan showing screen, we're gonna jump right into screening issues and.
Yeah, we're all about that.
Yes.
Yeah, we're,
One for us is how big is the generator compared to the one that we're used to seeing there now?
yeah, we try to account for all that with screening and vegetation. Yeah. Landscape plan.
It's a 300 kVA generator, so it's that, the one next to it, it's 1 million. So we're gonna be a little bit smaller, but the outline is the concrete pad.
The idea is to carry the arborvitae's right straight down through.
Sorry, is it natural gas or is it?
Yes, natural gas.
One's already there now, right? It's sitting up there, it's not screened, so this screen will pick up and capture that one too.
Is there, do we submit elevations for this?
Yeah.
You get a,
So the smaller pad's actually a million canopy?
Yeah, the one next to it.
Is that what you're, Dave?
and that one right there, what size is that one?
That's the million.
That's the million, and we're adding one up further to the.
Right in the area.
What's the size of yours compared to what's there?
300 KVA versus a million.
You said it's a little smaller, but
That's the pad
concrete
size.
pad.
Yeah.
Have you, selected the everybody size? So we're not starting a little tiny little thing?
Well, yeah, we're pretty much gonna match these, the existing.
If you go back to that elevation,
Yeah, there we go, so that'll be just as high as.
we're gonna emulate what you see here.
Transplants on that.
Is that, we can ask for more than that, I think it's a great idea, and I just love the fact that we screened that whole existing one year off in this process too, so.
Looks
I think it's a better gig for everyone.
Total simulations move all down, right?
Tell us reality's always good.
I'm in the planning board in the village of Skaneateles, so I prefer seeing that.
So this was on for concept, which is what we usually do, but
There's so much more.
just
Yeah, is it, Doug, you're still online, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I think we're gonna, I don't have any real issues here with this, I don't see why we just can't.
Yeah, no, but here's the size, scroll down to here, the size.
I don't have any issues with it either. I think it's a natural extension of what's there, as long as we can keep that continuity of the screening and the scale.
Condition, I think.
Make it a condition of to abide by.
Yeah. I think we're gonna move this right now.
So there is a short form EAF,
Do we need a secret?
yeah, I was gonna say, there is a short form EAF. There's no significant impact and it's an unlisted action, so we would make that part of the resolution.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the
Plan and
Plan
the
is-
date is, what's the date of the plan? But there's also a site.
There's a plan, that's the
There's a site
simulation,
plan, yeah.
there you go.
It should
There,
be.
oh, I saw something.
It's dated description.
Well, we would ask that it be dated maybe the same day as the elevation.
I'll write it right down right now.
Or you can do today's date, right?
Yeah, I think we use today's date.
Let's do today's date.
Right now,
Yeah.
just put today's date
Mhm.
in. 17th.
5/23.
So I'm gonna make a motion to approve the plan as presented on today's date, 5/23/2024, showing the for the generator installation with the following findings, that the 300,000 KVA generator sitting on the proposed concrete pad as shown, and sited as shown, is approved with the following conditions. The conditions that the arborvitae screening is to match caliber, size, and height of the existing, and is continuous as shown on the site plan to the far end of the building, whatever that is, the east end or.
And that this is a negative secret declaration.
Yes, and it's the short form EAF, they submit.
Yes.
Is there a date on it?
Put a date on it.
As submitted on, the date was submitted by the applicant has been reviewed by this board, that this is an unlisted action under seeker, and the board issues a negative declaration on the same. conditions.
Yeah, sure. Let me just stand.
Oh, I got, oh, yeah, thank you. Okay, this approval is made with the condition that this approval is for the plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant, and requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the town of DeWitt Code Section 192-122. Everyone make that motion? Hey, Kathy, I made it, Kathy seconded it.
You got it.
All in favor? Aye. Unanimous approval. We're good to go.
Thank you. So here's a fun fact. He built the building we're in right now. He's building the one we're going into, like, 30 years later. That's how old we are.
So, one last thing. So we just said we accepted a drawing dated today. We don't have a drawing with the actual today's date on it, so we just need you to get that drawing, get today's date on it, and get it into the lot at the town as soon as possible. We'll be good to go.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Just make sure the Christmas tree is connected to the generator.
Well, our Jewish landlord will make sure that happens.
You never go out that way. All right, Fulton. Oh, manual diesel.
See, he's up right now, but I'll bring it next time.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, lots of people on today.
I know, it's cool.
You never know, this is the first time I've been with you guys here, so you never know what to expect, sometimes it's a lot, it's not as exciting you guys have.
Good backup plan.
Hello, Mike.
Yeah, I'll use that plan and we'll look at this. So, quick overview, if you like,
the concept again.
I do need it.
Mike LaSalle is an FEL engineer. L-A-S-E-L-L.
Oh.
And we are looking, so Fulton Boiler, Portland Thermal Companies, obviously in this existing building, they've been there since 2017. 2021 timeframe, they had some deteriorating pavement, they wanted to try to do some repairs. So you see where they did, and I brought this one with the aerial as well, so you can see this shaded area here, which is not shaded here. So this area here has been repaved recently. Very clay, silty soils out there, so the project really entails repaving a parking lot, restriping it to organize it a bit, and the main addition on the project is adding 2 roll-off container pads with dumpsters here on the right-hand side of the current parking lot. And the second change is they have some pretty poor drainage where the water's coming down, and that's what really hurt this pavement before. And all the water kind of leaves in this bottom corner of the parking lot to an existing ditch that goes out to the highway underneath the fence there. So on this plan, I can show you a little better with the aerial. So again, talking about this area that has been repaved recently. A little saw cut here happening with a new concrete pad for existing roll-off containers that they currently put out here on this pad. But what's happening is their operations have to use fork trucks to bring the metal over to these roll-off containers. So what they're doing is they're putting them crooked out here so they can get to them from the sides. They can't reach through the back. So they're out on the pavement right now, and they're starting to ruin the pavement with their roll-off containers. So that's what's driving the proposal to put the roll-off containers on the north side of the parking lot. And then the other change is, as I was just talking about, a lot of the drainage comes right down this lot. You see the contours, and it comes off right here, and it's really sitting in this area. So what we're doing is we're proposing this existing ditch that runs down the east side
And we're cleaning that out a little bit to create a positive flow off the pavement. And I wish I have these photos for you guys on here, and now I know I will definitely make sure I bring them on the dump time or get them to you beforehand. Everybody in the room can at least see, and I can even, it might not hurt to pass these 3 photos out while we're talking. I could have brought a lot more copies, but while I'm talking, at least somebody can bring up questions if they need to once they go around. But this photo here is looking from the ditch where it goes under the fence right to my left, up the parking lot. So you can see these 4 large trees, which do show well on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They exist today, right on the fence line. Those will remain, and there's no intentions of taking those down. We are cutting anywhere from, on the first tree, you got about a 6-inch cut. Second tree, you got about a 12-inch cut about 8 foot away, and then the last tree about a 6-inch cut along the tree. So we don't feel like we're gonna be hurting the root structure of those trees at all. We have a little bit of flexibility to shift this over to. I walked the site today again, and I do feel like I can pull that about 4 or 5 feet comfortably without really changing the center line. You can see the center line today is right here, right where we're pretty much keeping it. We're just, again, giving a little bit more positive drainage to keep positive flow off of our parking lot instead of it running all off in one spot right now, which is about right here. So that was one of the changes, like we talked about, the roll-off containers, adding a little bit of a dumpster pad, 32 by 55. And then the final is, there's currently wall packs on the building. If you wanna jump to that lighting calcs proposed tab there.
For this one, there's no edge to the pavement, but you're making a little bit steeper slope. Are you gonna put any kind of edge?
No, there's no edge currently on this photo, it's good to see. There's no edge. What it is there's actually, it actually comes up a little bit before it goes off. So we're gonna clean that up to provide some positive drainage off. There is a sanitary line that runs in through there.
Does it fill in with grass in the summer? Or no?
This is where it's plowed. I just took this picture looking February of 27th, or February 27th. And this is where they push their snow off the main road. So Burnberry's right behind me, right at the main road. So yeah, when I've seen it, and there might be a better picture, well, you can even see it in the aerial on this one, it does clean up after the winter months, but this stone wouldn't be there, look mowed here. But there's a little small hump here before the water can get in the, actually, I shouldn't even say that, here it does flow off, it's, when you get down here further and further, it gets worse. Where this water can't get off the pavement, and it's making a mud mess right on the edge of the trailers lead. That's the other change you'll see, the truck movement, where they come in, they pull up, back in, and they leave. And we were getting some rutting in here where they do come off the pavement every once in a while. So we did do some repairs back in 21 when they added this. They did where the tires are going, and that's held up very well the last 2 to 3 years. That has a geogrid system to it. It's got quite a new pavement section, kind of almost like their test pavement section. It's held up very well. So now they're just doing the whole lot. So I think, yeah, that's it. Again, new change, adding this small dumpster pad. Then if we go back to the lighting calc tab real quick, and then we can jump back to this. There's currently lights around the building as wall packs, and they're going just to an LED. And right here, the lights that are currently out there are very low light levels, and they're just trying to do this, but no new poles or anything. And you can see we're at 0 by the property in these 4 locations. These 4 right here, which there's 4 today, but they're very dim. And these are not shielded, they're night sky compliant, they're not shielded to cut off shields, they're dark sky compliant lights, but they are not cut off.
Where do we stand on that? Cause I know we can go dark sky compliant, but when I drive down roads and I see bright hot spots along buildings, I get annoyed very quickly because I find it to be distracting.
Yep.
State DOT wants these shielded.
Yeah,
that's the same.
we saw that comment, and I think that's it's something that I'll work with a lighting vendor with. But obviously, he's trying to get a little punch in front of the building, mainly at these doors.
Yep.
So, but I do feel like it's very achievable. So I think it's, in this picture, again, I just passed it around as well, but This is from 481. And during the summer, which is nice, I just went over there and kind of confirmed this. This is a Google photo. I drove through there today and checked. It looks almost exactly the same as it does in this photo. But these are those main trees staying. This is a very low area, very wet, so they can't really maintain it. You see the cattails growing, so you get a little bit of screening already. But then the rest of it is just outside load. So you do have some screening here going on, but those wall packs do exist, but they will exist, and we have to make sure they're shielded so you can't see the light. And the good news is you are quite a bit higher than the building, so you're not looking up at the building. So I think they'll be able to add a shield, a cutoff should see. Obviously, the dark side applies, so you can't see the lens from above, but you can see the lens from the side, and that's where they're trying to prevent that. So we'll work with that and everything. Pretty minor. Again, not trying to add lights to push up here. They're not LEDs. Put LED lights on it. These are just security. There are lights above overhead or above man doors here. And he's replacing just so they're all the same wall path LED on the lighting side. So that's kind of the gist of the project. I will say parking. We restriped it. I look back at photos all the way like the 90s, and there was never a real striping parking plan. It's never had a lot of cars in the lot. They have 20 employees there, 5 visitors, what they wanted to sell. We maximized, we showed 33 spaces. But again, no change in the use in here. The same office, same manufacturing. But we're just organizing the parking.
Are you keeping the same number of parking spaces that you've always had?
Yes. If you look at aerials now, you'll see that this is how they park. Yeah.
There's no striping.
Yeah.
Or there was, it's all gone.
And I couldn't find any good pictures of striping even before they had the building. So, whenever I looked, there was very few cars here.
So I guess this is really just a parking lot project away. We have the building. It is a high-tech district, not an industrial district, so I have sort of a higher threshold for character and quality, which you're touching, so we're not really touching things. My biggest concern is going to be keeping those existing mature trees in a good place, because I'm just definitely afraid of any cuts along those, and they are the only things we got besides cattails.
Yeah, they're very, very mature.
And your parking lot isn't what I would consider to be a highly aesthetic element along the entrance to the town along the 41. So I think we're going to be looking pretty hard at how we handle that. Is there any other way to protect those trees besides just hoping that cutting the ground out isn't going to be
And like I mentioned, if you want to jump back to the site plan quick, sorry. It's a little easier on that. I have the ability, after walking it today, I'm comfortable pulling that swale quite a bit further away. So from me doing that today, and then from that photo that you're seeing, you can see that the trees are already kind of in the spot.
Yeah, so, yeah, they're on a little, I saw the ridge.
Yeah, they're really on the ridge, so I think, maybe at 10 feet away.
I just saw in the aerial photograph on the property side of the tree. It's like looks like a dead zone at the base of every tree, so something is going on there water-wise, retention-wise.
Oh, it's not insane.
Yeah, so on your side of the tree, and if we're cutting, or we're swelling on that side, so I'm just.
You see it in this and some other area.
I got it.
Oh, gotcha.
Google right now, just with it right now. So something's been going on there. I don't know if it's rocks or stones have been placed there, or if it's been dying lawn, which means it's, something's happening there. I'm just going to be looking closely at that thing.
I agree, and I walked this like today, I know I can do that a little bit more, I think I feel pretty comfortable.
So probably 6 or 7 years ago, the town worked on rebuilding Benedict Road. So a lot of the things that Mike is presenting here were he's spot on, right? This building is probably at the low spot of Benedict Road, next to the road, so the drainage is less than desirable, the soils, like Mike said, I mean, the clay, silty soils. you know, the water comes down at ponds in front of the office building just to the east of the parking lot. So I think what Mike's trying to do with check dams and the swale down below probably will clean up this site quite a bit. It hasn't been as organized as what Mike's showing. If you've ever gone down there, it was Edward Joy.
Yep.
And there were cars just kind of parked all over the place, so I think this would be a vast improvement. The one thing I would recommend, like, from your perspective, in Fulton Boilers is in the past, there was some chirping between Edward Joy and Infocon. It was a different property owner.
Yep.
But it might behoove you just to have a drainage letter report that says, hey, the impacts are gonna be improved in this area and it's less than equal to what it was
Yeah,
before.
I don't think you're dumping on them.
Yeah, so they don't come back and say, well, they never did this before.
And just so I know, there are these people right here, correct?
Yeah.
Because they're coming, you can see these grades, they're all coming at our building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's flatter than a pancake down there.
It is, and it was funny when we dug that parking lot up, there was like 2 inches of stone on early clay, so that's
Yeah,
why
it
it's
doesn't
thick.
surprise me.
And you do, when I went out there when it was raining really hard with their operations manager, and there's a lot of all urban areas, like this all, from this side of the urban area covered right here, yeah.
No free go.
But I do think this will be an improvement.
And it's gonna protect those mature trees and so.
Did you want any additional landscaping?
There's not a lot of space, especially if it's wet all the time. Additional landscaping, she said. It would be great to have something evergreen, but because in the summer they'll be completely shaded.
Yeah, these trees are pretty, you
Yeah.
can see they're pretty mature and they're really,
Yeah,
they
so
take over that
they're
area.
bare in the winter though, I mean, the only thing I don't know how we feel about this, but I'm just looking at the rhythm down the road here.
There's some seedlings on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, or get some evergreens going on top of that berm in the intermediate position, so there's a rhythm of that going.
Hey guys,
Yeah, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
yeah, I'll just add to, so right now there might be a lot of natural vegetation on the 481 side, but that's becoming 81.
Yeah, right. So that'll get cleaned out.
I would think so.
So we need more on the site is what you're seeing?
Yeah, I think that's where, it's.
I'm just suggesting that the current natural environment is likely to change.
Are you suggesting that they're gonna be putting up the sound barriers along this section?
Maybe sound barriers, but it's gonna get cleaned out. You're gonna lose that vegetation.
I doubt they're gonna do sound barriers after my conversation with them.
Yeah, the sound barriers
They don't meet the density, they won't even do it for DeWittshire.
That's right.
They say we don't qualify.
Yep.
And I said, my reaction to them was just because you don't meet the letter of a number on a piece of paper put out by the Fed government, doesn't mean you can't do it to provide a nice element to the community that you're impinging upon. They're like, oh, sorry, you don't meet.
And the town's gone on record with that.
Yeah. We attacked them pretty hard at one of the meetings too, so, as a neighborhood group. We got nowhere. Just got.
I would have thought your area would have been one of the first.
First, you would think.
They would have.
So does everybody
Put
else.
barriers, yeah.
Just as, hey, we're doing this, this is what we should be doing. But no,
I mean,
that's
just
not,
to
that's not
sidebar,
where they
right?
operate.
From the Kinney Street Bridge here up to the DOT yard, there's gonna be a full barrier wall in front of the town hall.
Yeah, I'm like,
It
what's
makes
the
no
density
sense.
here that requires a
Stupid.
sound wall?
The
Yeah,
town asked them to take this wall, put it over in Lake's neighborhood, and it went on deaf ears.
yeah, they're just, we're on the record, I have to be careful.
Yeah, and the rationale, I mean, you heard it, right? I mean, we're getting off Pandora's box, but the rationale they said was, well, there's a daycare back here right now.
Yeah.
So they need to put a wall here.
I bet you got a couple neighbors who run a daycare at their house in my neighborhood, so we're gonna protect them too. So I think we're gonna be looking for some more green trees along that line, if we can get in there and do that, so that ones die out, these stay.
When you look at this, there appears to be room, when I look at this, I think anything I do is gonna be in a canopy. no matter what. You can really see it on this photo.
Yeah, and these look smaller in this image
I
right
think
here,
this
so.
photo is, I've talked to Colton about this already, is there might need to be some screening. But I think it's, you guys, I wish I brought all the copies, but this photo looks like tons of room, right?
What about those tall grasses, like
And then I look at this one, and I
they're
think
kind of
the canopies
robust
are
for the
touching,
winter?
so I'm trying to put trees under a canopy.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to, and I look at putting them on, maybe getting them further away,
But then your drain swell.
and I'm getting lower, and then right where the sewer main.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think they'll be, it's just something that in 10 years from now, they're gonna get too big. I think again, and then they might not survive well, but I think there is a warrant for some planting between these.
So maybe it's not a tree or a shrub or something like that.
Shrubs between them,
Like
because
elephant grass?
if you look here, you don't have to be very high to really hide a whole lot. So it shows it pretty well. If you're up, you have 6 or 8 foot, you can see the fence line. If you were as tall as this fence, you're not seeing the car in the parking lot anymore. Right, so I think it's a very easy approach in terms of screening with a tree, or not even just screening, but aesthetically adding to it, instead of just creating a whole patch of trees, just more adding some lower stuff.
That's a good point, Mike. There's probably an easement over there that you probably can't plant trees in.
I would assume there's, that manhole right there.
I know there's a sewer line.
Yeah. It is on here, this is somewhere, there's an easement on this thing. Now it's on the survey there, but, so.
There's a gravity sewer that runs through there, and that should be shown on the plan.
We show the
So we
manhole.
Yeah.
We'll add
And
more.
manhole, there might be a manhole there, so yeah, that should get on the plan.
Yeah, we do have that, we had it surveyed in, so right there, Mark, right on the, it says existing manhole on the bottom of the page right now. But, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, understood. It just get on the grading plan so we can see what impact it has on that, if any.
Yeah, you can see it's showing that sewer all the way through here, but I don't know why it's not showing. I think it is, it's just not labeled.
Perspective shows them touching.
But this is that sewer manhole, and then this is the one that we had picked up here, so.
But
I can definitely, that's more time thinking about safety.
Yeah, let's take a look at that, because I know the perspective shows what canopy's touching. When I do the drive-by, I've got a full canopy width between each tree.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so
I think it might just be the angle.
it could be just the angle, so
Okay.
just, my concern, so.
Yeah, so, and are you guys thinking full head wall, or maybe just more breakup, like in between these 2 trees, let's say, you might have 6 spread out in 10-foot centers.
Right.
Something like that.
Yep.
Okay. Like spruce style.
I don't mind clustering too, so it naturalizes that versus just this
Yeah, we would definitely
cluster and offset and cluster, I think is a good, because it then portrays the naturalization that's along that corridor in other areas where, because we have, like, other buildings that are wide open that are, that I think are visually strong, and then there's clustering of trees in the areas where they're not, and so that kind of rhythm of things, I think is a good thing. Okay.
Are there other comments that are gonna be delivered, by the department? We need to look at?
I think we put together comments like we're talking about now.
Yeah, let's see.
Talk to the engineers and see what comments they have.
What's the deadline for submission?
Today's the deadline for the 13th, for the next.
Yeah, they're track meetings, so they can ask next.
6:13.
So we'll get the comments in probably early next week.
We do.
We can, if you want to, so do we want to start doing at the first meeting, is that what your idea?
And then when it's the type one,
Okay.
we'll
Yes,
just
yeah.
have it.
Yeah, so this is just, this is an unlisted action, so, right, for planning board to be an agency, uncoordinated review. That's the whole
That's the
whole
whole blurb.
blurb, very used to it.
Yeah.
Alana comes from the county, so she wants to make sure that we do that, which I'm happy to do.
Consistency is
Yeah.
fantastic.
So, yeah, that's a motion by you.
Yeah, that's the motion, so, the motion to declare lead agency, and it's a unlisted action for seeker
Coordinated
and,
review.
and a coordinated review.
Un-
Boy. Time is it? 8:30?
Uncoordinated.
You call
Just like
it
we're feeling right now.
uncoordinated?
Yeah, uncoordinated review.
Second by Kathy.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. Right, so we're,
Yeah, we're good, so we'll make sure we have that 6:19, or well, 6:13 deadline.
6:13 deadline.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah,
we
we'll
get your
send you
comments.
comments next week.
And Mike, there's another photo here.
Yeah.
we still have one more.
We have one more. Okay.
So, Cheng Plaza is up next. Last one tonight.
All right, last for last. Last for last.
Yay! You have to wait till the end.
All right. Everyone can hear me all right?
Yes. Yes.
So my name is Sally Zhang, and I'm here to represent.
Can you, I'm sorry, you talked very fast. Can you tell me your name again?
First name Sally, last name Zhang, Z-H.
Thank you.
G.
Thank you, got it.
So I'm here today to represent Chang Wai Family LLC, located at 4455 East Genesee Street. We have an existing plaza. It's a multi-tenant plaza. Per the town's recommendation, we are seeking approval for signage, essentially updating our current signage. So as of right now, each of our individual tenants have customized their own design, based off their business, their logo, their colors, etc. It does not look uniform at this time. So per town's recommendation, we're looking to simplify and uniform to create a more cohesive look for the plaza as a whole. We're looking at signs, which I'm sure you're familiar with. This is the first proposal as far as sign options that we have. We were looking to minimize the cost for our tenant as much as possible, and because they would all have to individually build out their new signs. So the proposed sign initially was this simple flat sign, cast vinyl with a black background with white text, which we believe it had the most pop and visibility as as people are driving through Genesee Street. If I can share my screen, I have a second proposal. I was recommended, I think I see that's disabled for screen sharing.
Oh, gotcha. You close out of that one.
Yeah.
Close out of that.
Stop sharing.
Stop,
red
hit the
button at the
stop share,
bottom.
there you go,
Yeah.
and then hit the up share and see if they're gonna turn it on. With the little up arrow next to share, right there, and multiple participants, there you go, bingo.
Perfect.
Thank you for that.
It's too late.
I do that live.
Last week.
I have a feeling he lives on Zoom calls.
So this additional request was made somewhat recently, so we were a little bit shorthand to provide a visual representation. But when talking with Fast Signs, and the recommendation that we were asked, or the second request was essentially to have a more dimensional design proposal. So the second proposal would be a higher cost for our tenants and ourselves. It's a box design with cast vinyl as well. And what the application process would be, they would route out the title, the name, the numbers, etc. So there would be a depth, as you can see. So the first one was flat, which is a printed square sign that we can attach. This one is thicker, and then the letters would be routed out. For the time, we haven't settled on the color exactly, but we settle on that to apply for our permits if this gets approved. But for now, again, we do believe that the black signage with the white makes it very easily readable. We were playing around with having a white background and a colored font. With the current facade of the plaza itself, we were just a little worried that the white would blend in as much. But again, we're willing to discuss with you guys as far as preferential colors and take your recommendation. This is obviously something very simple to modify, but as far as application, this is what we're leaning towards and presenting today.
I think they had, do you have an elevation of the property with the signs located on the elevations?
I think there was.
I thought I saw.
I thought we saw them Tuesday morning.
Tuesday, I thought it was Tuesday morning.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, there we go, we said, yeah.
I don't know if maybe someone else wants to drive, but this is what the site plan I was given. So it's just so there's our existing signs now. Fast Signs would take care of the entire installation. They would come in, remove the existing signs, and install all new signage all at once.
Mhm. And this is only this end of the plaza, correct? Because they're separate owners?
Yes, it is a completely separate ownership. We are more than willing to work with the owner on the other end. They have a very similar situation where individual tenants have their customized signage. So we believe that this is a solid design.
So I guess we.
Oh, you cut out. I'm sorry, Sally. You cut right out.
Yes.
There you are. You're back.
Great. I just wanted to reiterate that we have not been able to get in contact with the other plaza owner, but we are more than willing to be cooperative and work with. We understand the town desire to create a cohesive look and feel for the entirety of the plaza, even though ourselves are technically only responsible for our end. If they were to propose something different, we're more than willing to compromise. I've also already spoken with Fast Signs. They are prepared also for their resources to do both ends. So that way we can do one singular vendor, one day, one installation, all at the same time.
Is this initiated by us?
They're putting in, they're changing the tenants. It's just fine, so where the computers used to be, so when that came in, we said we wanted to do what we haven't been able to get in touch with the other side either.
So we can't control that, communication too.
So that's right.
Sally, have you read the multi-tenant signage regulations of the town? We have to go back and I think make sure we understand what the regs say. Sally, have you read the multi-tenant signage requirements that are in our town code?
I have not, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, they're in the design guidelines. If you go online, you can find them right there. I don't know them off the top of my head, so I think we'll go back and review this against what they say. They don't say a whole lot.
Well, there may be some other options, and I understand you're looking at something not terribly expensive. Your tenants are all gonna be required to do something, right, put something up new. There are options for different colors, just so you know. It's, there, you can pick I think up to 4 colors. I have to look, I don't have it in front of me right now. So that might be an option. I think one of the biggest issues, and I know Doug Arena's on the line, I think is that it has no dimension.
Yeah.
I don't understand, because I'm just the lawyer, how that helps, how the bottom plan helps, but I will leave that to the architects to understand if that.
I think the sign should be some type of box sign, so there's a depth to the sign, not just a single layer of material on the wall, because then that just picks up the wall undulations and lumberments around it, and it doesn't look like a good sign. So I think we need to go there. I'm sure there's a size regulation in the package as to how big each one of these can be.
It also might be less expensive to go with a white background than black.
Yeah, then it comes to about pop, you know, I get the pop, I know the one across the street, we just looked at, the one across the street, like Mario Salvo's is a black box sign with white letters, and that's pretty effective. Signage actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, and I like how you're going for the consistency.
Size.
Yeah, I wish that like Perfect Eyebrow Threading and Salon had a shorter name for you.
Changes the font size a lot.
Because it does get a little more, it gets a little busy looking because of the different sizes of letters. Yeah, I wish there was a happy medium for you.
Right. As far as colors go, we're very flexible, and that's a very simple modification to, you know, I could easily have Fast Sign make a few more design options with colors. What I was hoping to get approval and essentially is the application, is the box sign, which will have a thicker cast vinyl attachment. It's aluminum composite, so it's durable, it's sturdy. It won't erode throughout time. Most of all our tenants, several of them are very long-term tenants, and they're all local businesses as well. Yeah, unfortunately, as far as, you know, yeah, we have spa number 9, and then like you said, Perfect Eyebrow Threading and Salon. But that is the naming that our tenants are requesting, and we wouldn't want to, you know, change that for them. Dimensions, we're working with Fast Signs. I believe that you guys are familiar with them. They are very familiar with the town. I did send them. I myself, like you said, I would have to pull it up and refer to it. But they said that they were very familiar. So I'm confident that the 96 by 36 dimensions is within requirements and guidelines that you have provided.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen this, so, you know, like, I don't want the board to have to react, you know, and say, oh yeah, this is right. We'll go back and look at the code, we do so many code things that we don't have them off the top of our mind at the moment.
Yeah, and you can't just trust the sign vendor because they come in with the wrong size signs all the time.
Fair enough.
They actually made the signs and had to take them down and replace the sizes just recently.
Okay.
So we can look at this.
So is there a proposal for a box sign, or you're saying that you don't want to?
I just can't, how deep is that box sign again?
The depth is 3 inches.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, it looks smaller on the thing and I couldn't read it from here because it's in such like text.
This is a photo. I'm not quite sure if this gives you a better visualization
Could
of.
you zoom in on that so it takes up your whole screen?
Here we go. No.
Not a car commercial, I promise.
So right now, are you thinking of painting that also? I feel like it's gray now. Is it not?
No, it's white. It's white.
It is?
White, or perhaps maybe a slightly off white due to weather, but it is generally like a gray, lighter gray, white color, yes.
Golden cities are.
Signs don't bother me, they're all the same size, even though the lettering is more.
My nail place.
But at least they're uniform in size.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
the rhythm.
Yeah, I like
it's
the-
yeah,
the
that's
right
fine.
direction here.
Mhm.
I think we just gotta confirm what the size conditions are to make sure they're
Yeah.
in and.
Is there any lighting on these?
Yes, there are already, if you can see in the pictures, there's already initial lighting installed in the plaza. So those lights, those would be illuminated. There isn't necessarily direct lighting on each individual sign, no.
Understand.
They're not backlit, so.
Yeah, that's
Okay, yep.
So one thing I noticed in your elevation is that the backer panel, the white backer panel in the drawing is kind of subdivided, kind of breaks up that entire band, almost to center each of the signage. I don't think that's something that exists now on the facade. Are you proposing to do that? I actually think that that's a good thing. Kind of helps break up the monotony of that.
Yeah, the panelization of the facade there.
Can you explain a little bit further as far as what you're referring to as far as the elevation and what?
See how there's vertical divisions?
Oh,
I think those original boards there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly, that is something that the town is asking for us, we can certainly apply that as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good move for the
Define it?
Yeah, to define the break down the rhythm of it, it's their wood bands, I would say. They're like
Right.
one by,
It's the start and stop of each individual business, yes, I agree.
yeah, so it's not just one flat band that you see every imperfection. Okay.
So, we're gonna look at this, Sally, and have the architects look at it, review all of your details, review our sign code, and we'll get you comments, and, it's a nice effort. Thank you.
Okay, great, just so I know as far as what to anticipate, as you, I hear back from you guys, would we make modifications, but then we would need to schedule.
Sally, what are the numbers on the doors for?
That's just to show the different tenants that we have. So this one is a shared tenant. It's just a reference to the drawing.
It's not an actual something we would see.
Yeah, we don't see it.
No, I understand, I just, yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
There are no tiny numbers on the doors.
So Sally, when you were just asking what to expect, you cut out at the end, but I think that, would we get comments back?
Yes,
And
we
then-
need to review all the details and get comments.
Yep, so we would give you comments and then you would respond as quickly as possible to those. And when you turn your stuff in again, after you turn that in, you qualify to come back to another board meeting.
So you actually have 7 tenants, you only have 6 signs. 8, 9, I'm assuming goes upstairs. Right, so 1, 2,
Well,
only has
1,
1
2
sign.
is-
Correct. Right?
Where the Taylor was, the door is like kind of on an angle, right? Is that right? Why is 1, 2 at the nail salon like 2 tenants?
I actually don't think that, perhaps that, I don't think that's accurate, actually. The Unicorn Nails, that one is just their door. It's only 8 and 9 that shouldn't be, I'm sorry. It should be 1, and then 2 and 3 is here, shared together, because that's where someone already referenced the tailor shop that was originally there. So this is actually slightly misrepresenting.
So would there be if everybody's in there, would there be another sign? You're showing 6 signs and.
So if you could ignore the numbers, the sign is actually correct. The tailor shop moved out, and since then, the eyebrow shop is now taking both locations. So this door right here, that says 3, it's a door that's actually divided where you can go to the left and it's one shop, and you go to the right, it's another shop. Right now, our tenant is occupying both, so that is all one business now.
So do we have to determine a maximum number of signs?
Yes.
Yes.
6.
6. So we're saying 6 will be the maximum number of signs on this sign.
And how they will be spaced.
Oh, never had more than 6 signs.
She said
She
they
said
haven't had
never
one.
had
Or 6 signs, okay, good. So we'll get comments back, and then the next available meeting for them, a deadline, once we get back, would probably be the 13th of June. Okay.
Okay. Great, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sally.
Great job, Sally.
All right, Kevin's gonna make his motion. All in favor?
Aye.